Hey, what's up, and welcome to another absolutely beautiful day here on the vlog. Hey, I got a couple of quick things that I just want to talk about today, and that is a few episodes ago I said something and then a couple of friends were like, hey, that was really good, and so I wanted to kind of expand on that. But there's an episode like 4 episodes back called I Hugged a Lion, and I wanted to talk a little bit about how to hug a lion. Lions typically in our life, they represent big scary things, like things that are meant to destroy you. Lions have really sharp claws and teeth. They're powerful, they're big, they can take down animals much larger than themselves. And I think in life, lions really represent fear. So if we're gonna hug a lion, if we're going to overcome our fears, there's a couple of things that have to happen. Just being transparent, I'm actually afraid of a lot of things. In 12 episodes of vlogging and trying to kind of do something new and put myself out there, I found out that there are a ton of insecurities, there are a ton of things that actually really make me afraid. Like, I'm fearful, will people like me? Will people care? Will people think this is stupid? And honestly, I've gotten a ton of support, and a lot of people have thanked me and said, hey, this is awesome, I really appreciate what you're doing, which is super cool. And I know that they're all my friends and my family, and my mom likes what I do, so thanks, Mom. I love you. Anyways, but how do you hug a lion? How do you overcome the big scary things in life that have teeth and are meant to kill you and destroy you and devour you? Well, I think there's a few things, and over the coming weeks and months and years, or however long this thing continues to go with, we'll continue to talk about this and have this theme of how to hug a lion. I'm excited about that, but I wanted to share one verse with you. It's 1 John chapter 4, verse 8. I'm not going to share the whole verse, but just a quick little snippet, but it says this: there is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear. You know, if you're going to hug a lion, if you're going to overcome your fears, you're going to have to understand a couple of things. First of all, you have to understand what fear is. And I heard this acronym a long time ago, and I just think it's so true. But fear is false experiences appearing real. Fear, F-E-A-R, false experiences appearing real. Do you know, I found that the biggest fears in my life are almost always things that I haven't even attempted yet. I'm afraid to try them, and fear grips me, and it comes into me, and it paralyzes me, and it stops me from accomplishing or even trying new things that I've never even done before. I remember when my son was just real little, we were potty training. I told him that I would get him an animal if he could make it I think it was like a month or 2 weeks or something like that. I don't remember the exact time frame off the top of my head, but if he made it a certain set of time without wetting the bed, that I would get him an animal of his choice. And that was a really, really, really terrible parental mistake that I made, allowing a toddler to decide what animal to bring into our house as a family. Parents, don't ever do that. That is a really bad way to parent, and you will find yourself in a bad situation. I made that mistake. So Tyler, he makes it all the way through the set time, and he is so excited, and I'm thinking, man, we're gonna get a hamster or a guinea pig. You know, we're gonna get some cute, furry, fluffy, awesome little animal, maybe a cat or something like that, because we were really frustrated with him not being able to be potty trained. And so I was excited. You know, he finally made it. He's excited. We go to Petco. We walk in, and it was the most horrible thing, because my son immediately went to the reptile section and he began to look at snakes. I'm not a fan of snakes. It's not okay. Snakes are not okay with me. And anyways, he gets this snake out, and this lady who's helping us is not picking up on my non-verbal cues, because I'm like shaking my head and like, don't give this kid a snake. Do not allow this kid to touch a snake. And this lady just is like eating it up, because here's this little cute kid, you know, interested in what she's interested in, reptiles. And so she's like, oh yeah, these are hand-fed baby snakes, and I feed it out myself, and blah, blah, blah. And she's going through this whole story and this whole thing. And she puts a snake in my son's hand, and my son is just so overjoyed to have a snake. He flips around as I'm standing behind him, and he shoves the snake in my face, and he says, look, Dad, a snake. And I just freeze, because fear like just gripped me right there in that moment. And you know what? There was no reason for fear to grip me. I just had some false experiences appearing real in my life. And so if we're going to overcome fear, you have to understand what fear is. And it's just a false experience appearing real. That's number 1 to overcoming fear. Number 2 to overcoming fear is love beats fear. Love conquers fear, right? Hate drives fear. love overcomes fear. It's what we see in the Bible in 1 John chapter 4. In love, there is no fear, but perfect love drives out fear. So if you're afraid, if you find yourself in a fearful situation, you have to find the love in the situation, whether it's figuring out what you're going to do for a career, right? If you love what you do, you won't be afraid of going out and setting big goals and accomplishing goals. If you are, whatever your scenario is that creates fear in your life, you've got to find a love point to connect to it, because love drives out fear. The Bible says perfect love drives out fear. So number 3, I would say in this is, so number 1 is understand what fear is. Number 2 is connect love to the fear. And then number 3 is you have to recognize that there's fear there, but because you understand the love point connection, it drives out the fear. Recognize, yeah, there's going to be fearful situations in our lives. We recognize that there's fear. The Bible doesn't say there's no fear, right? Understand, and we recognize that there's always going to be fear in situations. There's going to be fear in every kind of scenario in our life. But the Bible does say that perfect love drives out fear. So to overcome fear, to hug your lion, whatever your lion is, you have to recognize, yep, it's there, address it, but then love overcomes it. Love conquers fear. It drives out that fear. And so I just want to encourage you today, overcome that fear. Learn to hug your lion. Address it. Confront it. Confront your fear today. Figure it out. Understand what about the situation makes you afraid. Understand what your false experience is that's appearing real. Get a handle on that. Connect a love point to it. Figure out what it is that you love about the situation, love about the scenario. Maybe you're scared in your job. Figure out what it is that you love to do, what you love about it, what you love about your relationship that you're too afraid to address. Whatever it is, connect a love point to it. And then number 3 is recognize that the fear is there, but then allow the love to overcome the fear. That's going to do it for today. Hey, if this helped you out, help me out by subscribing to the YouTube channel, like the video, leave a comment. Maybe you could even share what your fear is and how you overcome it in the comments below. And let's just continue to create community and great conversation, because I know your guys' ideas and some of the things that you have going on in your world is so much better and way awesome, and I'm sure it will encourage and help other people. But subscribe to the channel, like it, and then most of all, if this has helped you out, maybe it would help somebody else out. So share the video, use the share tools down below, post this to somebody else's Facebook wall, or this video to somebody else's Facebook wall, or send it to them on Twitter, tweet it out, do all of those things to share this, because if it helped you, it might help them, and the more shares that I get and all that stuff, it just helps me out, so we can help each other. Help me, help you, help others.